The spectacle of the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse investigation is going to take quite some time. And the reason for that is that there were so many parties involved, but also what will result from the investigation will be changes to the shipping industry, to the ports themselves, for decades to come. Billions of dollars later in terms of improvements that have to be made because of the size of these ships that's growing beyond the size of these ports, and that the safety has to be put into place here because it's very tangible. You have 6 workers who perished as a result of this very unfortunate thing. About this too is the application of risk factors. It's clear that there's a design issue with that bridge, maybe not necessarily with the structure of the bridge, but the way the bridge was protected. State-of-the-art ships were never intended to be going underneath a bridge of this size and that narrow strait or so with a ship that's 1,000 feet long with 10,000 containers on it. So design and construction flaws are in place. Deferred maintenance is something that's probably going to be the most contributing factor to this as relates to the dolly and what did and what did not happen with that ship that caused that sudden power failure. So we'll have to see. The economic constraints are very clear in the shipping industry. The shipping company Maersk has been under enormous pressure, as has other shipping companies over the past several years or so, post-pandemic, in terms of being able to turn a profit and operate successfully. I'm willing to bet that scheduling constraints also have to play in this, and that probably that ship left the port prematurely, and that people knew that there was an impending problem with that ship. But scheduling constraints and economic pressure go hand in hand, and in this case, that ship probably left too early. It's pretty clear from a communications perspective that the 6 workers had no idea that this collision was imminent. However, fortunately, the police were able to alert drivers and they shut down the bridge. But there was clearly a communication failure there. And when you look at planning and preparedness and communication, there has to be some play between those 2 factors. Arrogance, we'll have to see what develops from that. But it's pretty clear that people who have been looking at this situation now realize that these large ships were really outgrowing these ports and the infrastructure around these ports, including these bridges and how those bridges are protected. So there were probably big decisions that were put off because they are enormous decisions to add structural issues to these bridges and make them more protected, and the ports themselves. And then political agendas, when you have the Maryland Transportation Authority, the Maryland Port Authority, you've got politics. So we'll have to see how that develops. But to learn more about how these risk factors can apply to any business, check out ermexchange.com.